We are here on episode 8.
Number 8. There we are.
8 already.
Crazy how quick it's gone, because we've been recording this for quite a while now, haven't we? Like we said, episode 1 and 2 were ages ago, but now that they're going out, it's hard to catch up in it. We have to keep playing catch up and grabbing these. Now, I think the first episodes we recorded, it was a month before they went out, but now.
Yeah, they're really catching up, and
closer,
it's sort of the work now is it's sort of becoming real not real hard work, because we love doing it, but I mean it's becoming a bit of a struggle now, with me living in Grimsby,
and having Andy, your schedule,
and having my schedule,
Andy
living in Manchester and his schedule, and personal lives as well that we need to, which is important to keep up,
and then guests as well, matching with guest schedules and stuff, which it's good fun though. It's good,
and the listeners are coming in. I mean,
exactly.
we're really up there, sort of 15,000, no more, nearly 20,000,
over 20,000 now.
20,000 listeners, so that's amazing.
Which is great. Thank you guys, and it is amazing. Thank you so much for listening to us. And we know sometimes the chats get a bit ranty, but we love that, don't we? We want to keep them that way. And
that's the way we are, with our guests. I mean, we're fortunate enough to be able to sit down with the people who we admire as actors and as people. And this week's guest, again, is someone who we both know. And is more familiar with her.
I worked with, so it's Sally Carman. You've clicked the thing, so you know who it is. Sally Carman.
Best known for
probably Shameless, I'd say,
and she's really recognisable in a current soap opera. I'll let you explain.
So basically, we didn't know this going in, and Sally forgot to mention it, but her and her friend who was there on the day, Joe Duttine, both currently star in a very popular soap opera. We're not allowed to mention the name of that soap opera, so in the edit, I don't quite know what I'm going to do with it yet.
There's a lot of beeping in it. It's not because of swearing.
Yeah, we're gonna do something over it. We might do something funny. It might just be a little beep.
Maybe a fart noise. Or
maybe something like that. We might get a bit daft with it. So that was great as well, wasn't it? We arrived at Sally's, and Joe got out of his car.
And you went, I recognise him, and I was like, because you said, is he in Shameless? And I was
he has been in,
but very small part.
But then I recognised him from the soap that
yeah. And it's amazing. I watch it because Charlotte watches it, and it's on, and it's a bit of a guilty pleasure. And as you all know, the only people that really sort of take me aback are people who are in soap operas.
Yeah. You've said that before,
So it's kind of a bit of a surreal experience, but it was such a treat to have Joe there.
Yeah, it was nice because we didn't say all the guests that we've had so far. We know him, like Sally. I've worked with her on that horror film. It's called Habit. It's on Sky One. Avogaders.
It's not quite Swimming.
Not Sky One. Sorry, it's on Sky. It's not quite Swimming with Men. It's not Rob Brydon's not in this one.
No. And me half naked.
And you half naked. I mean, that would make for a better horror film.
Yeah.
But Joe, we didn't know him. You met Sally, didn't you, at the Channel 4 Christmas party thing? Obviously when she was doing Shameless. And I've worked with her, but Joe, we didn't know at all, so that was nice, because that's kind of our first guest there that we've not got any
connection.
Because even I didn't know John McClure, but you knew him, so there's a connection there. You didn't know Lewis Bison Briggs in episode 2, but I knew him. So
it's interesting. It's interesting. You get to meet new people and hear their stories, and we
want to do that more, I guess, as well. We've had a guest who's coming up in a couple of weeks who we're going to record with, she kind of got hold of us on Twitter, and
there's been a couple of that recently.
It's nice, man. I like that, and it's man. If you do it, if chat to us on Twitter.
You've got to have a blue tick and at least 10k followers, otherwise do one.
Not at all.
No, it's good. We're really enjoying meeting new people and making new friends, and hopefully, you guys are really enjoying the chats, because the reaction on social media has just been amazing.
It really has.
And this is episode 8.
This is episode 8. Another warning as well. Sally's doggy, Elsie or something like that. was present in the room.
Chewing on a bone.
She was chewing on a bone, playing with a toy and that, and like
smashing her tail everywhere.
Yeah, Sally said, "Oh, should we
sounds
get
a
rid
bit
of
like you, that smashing your tail everywhere."
Oh, mate, not at all. Sally said like, "Oh, do you want me to like get her out of the room?" I'm like, but no, man, like
we like that.
We like the thing is like what we like and what we hope you guys enjoy as well is. We try our hardest. Episodes 1 and 2 we didn't, but sort of 3 onwards, we try our hardest to go and record at like the guests' houses or somewhere. We don't want it mine, didn't we? Like, it's just nice and it's more comfortable for the guests because they're on their home turf, so the chat's a bit nicer. But then nice real things like that happen.
Yeah,
like,
I like that.
Yeah, like Stephen shouting Hannah, Hannah, halfway through. My voice went then. Yeah. Clint Boone, obviously on last week's episode, cut up to answer to the postman.
Yeah.
It's just nice, and so in this one, like I say, we do apologise that you might hear a doggy chewing on stuff, but. It's nice, man. It's that's all part of the parcel. You know what I mean?
That's it. Yeah, and at least I'm not farting in these intros.
At least because to be honest, the worst thing about podcasts, if you don't mind me saying, Tomo, Tomo does all the driving. Thank you,
course,
because he drives and I don't. But as punishment for that, I think Tomo trumps a lot. And they really do stink.
I'm on a very high protein diet. That's what it is.
I mean, he's got
and my insides are just ruined. I mean, I think I need a chronic irrigation or whatever.
Yeah. I mean, I think I've said this on the podcast before, but the kid used to eat raw bacon when he was younger.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Let's move on then. Is this episode 8?
Yeah, episode number 8 with Sally Carman, and we'll see you guys after the chat for some. Post-chat analysis, whatever.
Yeah.
Well, just us chatting crap again. Bye. We're recording too. If you want to bring it in.
We are sat here with a long-term friend. We've known him for quite a while, haven't we?
Oh, I know.
Good old Sally Carman.
Sally Carman and Johnny Duttine. Yeah. Joe Duttine, who's a friend of Sally's, and Sally's kindly invited us around to her lovely home in Manchester. And Johnny is around learning lines, I'm guessing. Was you learning lines?
Picking up the dog.
Picking up the dog and learning lines.
It's not like a crackly line. That's just Elsie chewing on an antler.
Yeah. She's having a good old chew.
Not a Christmas antler.
Me biting my toenails.
And so we're here for another episode of Overrated Everything. And Sally, if you'd like to tell us what your subject is.
Right, well...
and talk to us a bit about it as well, and why you think...
Well, initially, I was going to do technology, but Kieran Griffith had that. Nicked it. Prince, he calls me Queen, I call him Prince.
Oh, that's cute. We'll come back to that later.
Yeah. And as he would say, is this going to be a problem? But enough about him.
It's not his episode, it's yours.
And I was going to talk about spitty mouths on the radio.
Spitty mouths?
You know, like they got a newscast reader or like doing the weather and... they talk and it's like a spitty mouth thing.
I know what you mean.
Don't do that. Don't do that. It makes me want to like rip off faces. As does people eating on trains or
eating on trains.
Yeah, like because you're always stuck behind someone who eats like they've got no teeth. It's just all a bit
just
much.
Chewing.
Yeah.
It makes me go sweaty.
There's a name for that.
There is, and I've got it. It's natural phobia thing.
Just people.
Just people. What's overrated?
Just people being there.
Yeah, that's it. Really.
That's why you're here for the dog. You prefer just to chill with the dog.
Whether eating or not.
But then I landed on makeup. Now, don't get me wrong. Makeup is my best friend in the world. I adore it. It saves many a heartbreak in a morning when I've put my face on. I can face the day, but. You've got to know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And there's this fashion at the minute where these beautiful, gorgeous, fresh-faced young women, I'll show my age here, just put on, this eyebrow thing. I mean, you've got to have seen these eyebrows.
Yeah.
These, like, slug black pellet eyebrows.
Yeah.
They look like Max Wall. Now, you won't know who Max Wall is, but he had horrendous eyebrows. I mean, like just painted on, but then with sharp corners. Like sharp corners. I mean, an eyebrow shouldn't have a corner.
Yeah,
No.
and don't some people now get them like tattooed on like that as well? That's
Well,
a
they
thing.
do. Yeah, they
which
do.
is scary. I don't think it's permanent, is it? I
No,
think
it
it's
is. No,
Well,
Oh, they
tattoos,
get permanent.
tattoos are permanent.
Yeah, but can't you get like
Yeah.
semi?
I think you can, yeah.
Permanent
You can
ones,
get the
yeah,
semi
yeah.
ones. My mum had hers done because she's like lost her eyebrows just because she was knocking on a bit, and she had hers tattooed on. They're brilliant.
Your
But
mum
then-
had
yeah,
eyebrows
but they
tattooed
look
on?
really natural. They look really good.
So is it like an actual
tattoo? Yeah. So they get the
They make
pen
it
and
look
they
like
just
hair.
like draw the hair on right.
They're
really
slightly
fine.
higher than normal, so she always looks surprised.
So penciled out,
so
don't you, man?
it's the same pain that you'd get having a tattoo.
Yeah, it was really-
Because I, as you can see, I've got tattoos all over, but I couldn't imagine having tattoos on
Yeah.
my face.
Yeah.
I mean,
She went a bit like
I'm
Heather,
sure I've
so-
probably tried in
It
Magaluf and
might
I do for
improve
some
it,
point,
mate.
but-
It might improve it.
yeah, well, yeah.
You might have to. You might be have those. You know the ones where the glow in the dark ones, so you don't see. Them.
Yeah, the UV
You
ones.
could have a whole face of
Yeah,
something going on.
UVs,
You might not even know about
Maybe
it.
that's what I should have done. Like, 'cause when I was sort of 17, 18, I thought, oh, it's a good idea to get all these tattoos.
Yeah.
And then it's like, when you're going into auditions now, and I bet always
I
try and
see.
wear a jumper.
Yeah.
Yeah, or like, if everyone got a coat on, they're like, do you want to take your coat off? I'm like,
Yeah.
fine.
It's July,
Yeah,
Thomas.
Yeah.
I'm alright, thanks. I just keep this anorak on.
But then again, that's another reason why I suppose makeup's good, because you're in
A popular soap opera.
at the moment.
Yeah.
So do they have to cover your tattoos up? Or,
They do, yeah.
yeah, and is that a long process? And
Yeah,
that's
it is.
makeup.
It is, yeah. It's a really long process, and they love me for it. And they did it in Shameless as well for a while, but because I'm going to get it removed because I don't know what I was thinking. And I don't have the excuse being a 17-year-old. I was a 35-year-old grown-ass woman
really?
and thought it was a good idea.
Yeah.
What is it, if you don't mind us asking
Come
or
on now, how many
looking?
people are going to listen to this? Let's talk about my horrendous tattoo. But I'll tell you, there's a story behind it.
I love the colours though.
The colours are alright, but I'll just talk you through it, lads. Here we go. So, first off, I thought I'd just have this phrase, this too shall pass, because, it's quite, yeah, it's a good phrase,
Theatre,
if you're
isn't it,
going
is it?
through. So, no, it's like, I think it's a Buddhist saying, it's like, if
right.
you're having a hard time, it won't last forever.
That's nice.
Nothing lasts forever,
Yeah.
Me tattoo.
Ironically, apart from the tattoo, which is going
Ironic.
nowhere. Yeah, exactly.
It shall not pass.
They shall not pass. I can't. No, maybe on the other one. And then I had it done, and then I noticed when I sort of bent my arm, it kind of squashed this up, and then that looked like Path. Then it looked like Puff, and people going, "This too shall puff." I'm like, no. And then I'm like, you know what? I need something to sort of detract from it. So I had these big blue flowers, and then that looked stupid. So I had some orange, pink, and purple flowers, and that didn't quite look right. So I did some then little daisies, which are further
like
out.
it.
So it's,
Yeah, I think it looks nice.
so, yeah, well, then this happened. So I had all that done, and I woke up one morning, had a big stretch. I looked at my arm, just looked outside the window, looked at my curtains. It's the print on my old Marks and
Oh
Spencer's
my
curtain.
God.
No.
Yeah.
That's good. I mean, Max and Spencer, at least it's
I
not
mean,
like,
it's,
as the George
Yeah.
curtains.
Matt like
It's worse.
Yeah.
You're doing alright,
faded
Sal.
by now if it was. But yeah, so that was the moment when it's got to go. So this tattoo after 3 months was already on its way out.
Have you tried the laser removal?
No, but hi Elsie.
I'm currently getting it done at the minute.
He's got Stewie Griffin
I've
on
got
his
Stewie
leg.
Griffin
Oh
from Family
mate,
Guy.
I feel a bit better now.
The size of my thigh,
Wow.
right here, massive, and I'm getting it laser removed. And I'm telling you, it's the most painful thing.
Well, there's this that's Elsie the dog who's got a tail I can't even tell you
a
what it's
wrecking
like.
ball.
It's like a what's it on a ship. There's a new laser thing, and I'm not going to do an advert for anyone, but
No.
I can't even think what it's called, so I couldn't if I wanted to. But it costs like a normal session's about 50 quid, 100 quid.
I was really lucky. My old school teacher went into skin restoration.
Yeah.
And she does all kinds of. Charlotte's getting, bless her, the lady Jo at Skin Restoration in Grimsby. He is
doing an
now I am
advert.
doing a shout out for her, but she's doing all Charlotte's facials for the wedding, and she's doing my
What are you
tattoo.
doing? Doing this on your stage, it's like sideburns or something.
I don't know. She's got. I don't know. She's doing all kinds of beauty
Yeah.
products. And,
Yeah.
And bless her, she won't take a penny off us. So,
That's really sweet.
obviously, we're going to treat her in the long run, but
Well, you've ruined that surprise.
Well, yeah. But yeah, no. So I'm not sure about the prices. But go on. What was you saying?
So a normal sort of like removal session, but it's between like say average 50 to 100 quid per session. Is that about right?
I think so.
Oh no, you don't know, of course, because you just explained. Yes.
Yeah.
I've got sinus problems, and
But
I'm
I'm
very
That's a
menopausal.
lot of money in that case, then, isn't it?
That's nice. That
Whereas Johnny loves his tattoo and never wants to get it.
I hate it.
But this
Yours is like a
play.
bit of a tribal.
I hate it.
Did you have to cover that for
Awful.
work as
No, I
well?
had a little rave son that I had to cover.
Ah.
But I have covered it for work, but it doesn't. They don't really cover.
No, that's,
Yeah.
that's. I mean, you know, that's.
They have a go.
Yeah. How long does yours take to cover on your arm?
About 40 minutes.
Every
You have to
single-
layer it up. You have to put like red on it first, red
Yeah,
sort of makeup,
yeah.
and then the whites and pinks and beiges, and just have to build it up.
And is
Yeah.
that obviously it's not every day that
No,
is it?
no,
Most
so
days.
yeah.
you got-
If they
jumper
can, they'll
on
put
or-
you in a long sleeve jumper.
Yeah.
That's what I've found. Most things that I do nowadays is you'll always see me in a long sleeve jumper.
exactly.
But the thing is I always said to myself, it'll never be a problem unless I'm really naked on screen. And then I got a phone call from my agent saying there's a film about male swimmers. So I spent a whole 90 minutes in Speedos, like with all my tattoos hanging out, and I was like, but obviously they couldn't sit and cover all my tattoos all day.
So
So
what
it
did
just
you do?
had them
then?
in.
They just had a lot of them, other than the Stewie, because it was a copyright. Obviously, because it's a character, that's the only one that they covered. So the rest of them they just kept out. So I was a bit gutted about
They
because
could have just put you in a unitard or something.
Could have
Yeah,
wanted bigger
Could have
chunks.
missed a trick.
yeah,
then.
could have worn bigger chunks or got a wetsuit or
Yeah.
But no, I suppose that's one reason why makeup is good for
Yeah.
covering your tattoos.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
this laser thing, it costs like $3,000 for like 4 sessions or something, but apparently it doesn't hurt that much,
Jesus.
and it gets rid of everything.
Oh,
That's
really?
alright then.
So it's worth doing.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, if it's something that you want doing, then it's worth doing, isn't it? Defo, yeah.
Yeah.
But going back to the eyebrows
Right,
thing, I
yeah.
know what you're saying with
Yeah.
that, like, because they are literally getting like some girls walking around now.
Scary, isn't it?
Yeah.
It looks
And
like
This contouring thing.
yeah. What's contouring?
Kim
That's-
Kardashian set it all off. Contouring's been going on forever, but it's the makeup artists, when they know what they're doing, it's for film. It's sort of like to get shading and shadowing, to get the best angles, for the light to look good. They've been doing it for years. And then Kim Kardashian decided to, put it on her Twitter or whatever, and suddenly there's these kits and all the girls are having a go, and so it looks like they've been varnished and then polished and then, painted.
Wow.
And it's just awful. So you've got these girls looking like identikit, like, sort of like RuPaul.
Yeah.
And it's just upsetting.
Yeah.
It's mad as well, isn't it? Because I think with makeup, like now, like back in the day, like when because there's not really any subcultures anymore. But like back in the day, like we were speaking sort of off mic earlier on about like Rosamund Hanson from This Is England,
Yeah.
like her character Smell, because obviously she did Shameless as well. Like her makeup was like her kind of subculture's kind of identity and stuff. But
Yeah.
now, like you say, it is literally 90% of young girls all look
Exactly the
like
same.
Kim Kardashian. It's not like any of them have got their own like identity or
No, there just isn't that. You're right. And also, I mean, and you've got these 14-year-olds posing and doing these selfies, and they're going to the proms, and they know how to pose. Like they sort of throw their heads back with their arms sort of like hanging down.
It's the
their thigh.
selfie photos. They've kind of the way they take photographs of
Yeah.
themselves as well. They've kind of mastered the way they.
They've got the angles.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we all have though. I think I've got my good angle for
the
this.
same stand, the same pose.
But
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
it's impressive.
Yeah.
On one hand, I'm kind of like massively in awe of that, and the other hand, I'm like, you're 14.
yeah.
It's worrying.
My wife's little sister. It was her kind of leave. I always call it leavers do bloody prom. It was her
Yeah,
prom.
when did prom start as
Yeah,
well?
exactly.
What's that
It was
about?
a leavers do like when I left
It was
school.
school
like
disco
15
when I
years
left
ago.
It was
school.
prom when I left.
Oh, was it?
2 years.
2 years younger
I
than
bought
me.
the
yeah.
cider in Park when I left school.
That's what our prom
You didn't
ended
even fucking
up.
go to school, mate. What are you
No, I did for the final 2 years. I did for the final 2 years.
You got This Is England and fuck school, right?
What a mistake that was.
Oh, there must be so many teachers at your school living.
Oh,
Mate,
you've
that
done all
mad.
right. They
That's
must be
mad. One of them's
furious.
gone and fucking doing to that. Who's now, isn't she?
yeah.
Ruined a life. That's just the equivalent of a nervous breakdown. Like, I don't understand what's happening.
But yeah, no. So I went and took a few like pictures of my girlfriend, my wife, sorry, little
Oh, hello.
sister, and that
Okay.
at the prom.
Right.
Like them all getting into the limos and all that, like they do. And yeah, looking at them, like you were saying there, like every single girl is doing the exact same pose in every picture. And like now, I think there's one that I've seen where they put the hands. It's not great for podcasting. They put the hands above the mouth.
Oh.
And that's the pose. That's what you do.
Is that to show the nails off, or is that?
I don't know. Yeah, it could be.
Yeah, that's all good.
Maybe one of their eyebrows has dropped.
They don't want it to look like a little Hitler moustache.
Slowly slide it
But
back
it
up
wouldn't.
again.
The thing is, it wouldn't look like a Hitler moustache. It
look
looked like a proper
neo-Nazi.
handlebar
Yeah, with
moustache.
proper handlebar tash,
Like
yeah.
amigos.
But it's amazing, like, it cost a lot of money.
It's not cheap. That's
Like,
it.
some of the things that Charlotte gets, like, she's recently, especially now, leading up to the wedding, like, she's having the trials of everything. So she's having the trials of my nails.
We have to pay for the trials
Trials,
as well.
and like, honestly, she's spending so much money on stuff, and I'm just like, whereas she never really wears makeup, you know. She's naturally beautiful, I think, anyway. But she, you know, when she goes out, so if I go out for a meal or if I go out to the pub, she will wear a bit of makeup, and I prefer her without it. But the things that she's building up to for this wedding, is like, it's just costing so much money. So how do these 14-year-olds afford all this stuff? I suppose, yeah.
But it's also that thing, isn't it? If you go, because I mean they all look the same as well, because they have the makeup artists that do the same look. But if you sort of like, I'm just being too graphic, if you cop off with someone and she's got hair extensions in and the eyebrows and the cheeks and the lips, and she washes her face or leaves her face on the pillow in the morning, you're waking up with someone entirely different.
And it's, I mean, back in like my dating days, like I've done that and like woke up and then like the makeup's all over the, like you say, all over the sheets and stuff, and it's just a bit
Fake
like,
tan's the killer, isn't it?
What's that?
You obviously
I didn't have the right brands.
I can't talk about fake tan because I'm terrible at it. I've been putting it on for 30 years.
You've been putting fake tan on?
Oh, you were fake tanning before fake tanning was cool.
I really was, yeah, and I really was, because I'm so pale, I'm blue, I look like I've been raked from the bottom of the pond after being there for 3 days. But, so I do put it on, and I don't put it on very well, but it doesn't matter, it takes the edge off. So it is a bit messy, so I'm not blameless in this, and it's not about, blaming the young girls, because they're young girls, they can't sound like a grandma, but because they're just so beautiful, and they don't realise that this really lovely, fresh, gorgeous skin doesn't need all that crap on it, and
that's it, because they are so young as well, and like at that age, you're putting chemicals on your skin, you're naturally getting stuff like spots and that anyway.
Yeah.
That stuff's not
just enhancing
helping,
it.
but that's because their lives are kind of led through to social media.
Aren't they? The pressure's unreal.
Images and pictures and
the pressure,
that's it. It's unreal. The pressure's unreal, and the pressures get. I think we're going backwards, because like you'd have the 60s, and again the makeup was quite beehives and thick makeup. And
women was quite extravagant and
and there was a certain way you had to be, and we kind of progressed a little bit, and now it seems to be, this you've got to, I don't know, subscribe to this certain look to be attractive, and I just find that very depressing.
Yeah, I mean, but I think they go through it, but I think when they'll get to an age where, I don't know what it is it sort of like 14, 15-year-old boys are interested in that sort of thing? Do they just look at women who wear all this makeup and think that's fit, or that like she looks gorgeous, or... I don't know.
I think
I don't think they care.
Yeah, I never, like, when I was a kid, like, you didn't really, like, care, like, if girls were, I mean, back then girls didn't really wear that much makeup, I don't think.
No,
I think it was
because it wasn't allowed in schools.
No.
When I was at school, like, girls weren't allowed to wear makeup.
I think it is more like what you were saying, like, I think it is more social media, do you know what I mean? Like, a girl would look at Kim Kardashian and Kanye West and, oh my God, look at their, like, beautiful dream marriage and all that, and the Beyonce and Jay-Z and all that, and aspire for that, really. I don't think they're bothered about their boys in school seeing that.
I think a lot of girls, when they kind of greet each other, like, a bit of a generalisation this, but blokes go, right mate, how you doing, you alright? Whereas girls go, wow, you look amazing.
Yeah.
And the first thing they do is judge somebody on the way that they look.
Yeah.
So it's constant pressure.
Yeah, definitely.
But women are judged on the way they look. They absolutely are. There's no getting round it. You are. More so
I mean,
men, but then men are as well now. I mean, men are now getting their eyebrows plucked, and
I
can't bear that.
Stop. I mean, I'm gonna get mine done for the wedding. I think I'm booked.
Don't.
Are you really?
Do not do it.
Yeah.
Do not do it.
There's a couple of sparks at work that had their eyebrows done.
You can tell. You look like an off-duty drag artist.
Well, I
Don't
think
do it.
I don't know. Like I've got friends like Connor, who's the most beautiful man you'll ever see.
He's absolutely gorgeous.
Honestly, like
we went on his stag do, right?
Yeah.
And his mate Connor, and honestly, he is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
And I don't want to go to his wedding because I don't want my wife to meet him.
Yeah,
okay.
Because she'll just leave me.
Right.
But again,
yeah.
he's like he gets his hair cut sort of every 10 days, but he don't go like me. But my
10 days?
it's sort of like every 10 days, 2 weeks. But I've had my hair cut from the same girl who does it for a fiver, who's done it for years. I'm not that bothered. Whereas he goes to a really expensive one and gets his eyebrows done, and he buys all the like top. I think I went to like Boots with him the other week, and he spent like 50 quid on moisturiser. Or I'm guessing that's quite a lot because I'd never spend that much on moisturiser.
That's not a lot.
Well, is it not?
Is it not?
No.
Oh well, yeah. Well, I thought that was quite.
I mean,
a lot.
it's working. Whatever
He's
he's
working,
wearing.
whatever he's doing.
Really?
But yeah, again, he's a man. I think he's 23.
That's probably a lot for a bloke to spend on a moisturiser.
He's got
Yeah,
he's got that that image, hasn't he? But then I suppose he's getting it from people like the people on Love Island and the people on Geordie Shore who are really chiselled and look all that. I think he's probably getting it from them.
Yeah.
Which the young girls are getting it from Kim Kardashian and.
I think you've hit on a good point there actually, because that's the thing, isn't it? Because I know Cheryl Cole at the minute is getting so much stick because she's had something done. I mean, allegedly had something done, should I say? But that pressure, and I know actresses these beautiful women who get loads of stuff done, and it's like, why are you touching? Why are you? And listen, I hold my hands up. I've done stuff, but I'm talking about really beautiful women who really don't need to do that. But I suppose the pressure, if you've been known as a beauty, is that's hard, isn't it?
Yeah,
and
yeah.
then you start fiddling, and then
I think you really limit yourself when you do that, though. I don't think you should do that.
Yeah.
It's a tool, innit? Your face.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, acting's, it's a reflection of
You can't
reality,
express
isn't
yourself
it?
because your lips are too tight, your forehead can't move.
Exactly. And there's something, because, like, going on that, like, I guess it is, like you say, people who've, maybe in the, the late teens, early 20s and that have been given these roles of playing the beautiful, whatever, always the lead actress and stuff. And then as you get a little bit older, you stop being... There's that funny age in acting, isn't it? Like, I remember someone saying it to me years ago, because obviously me and T started at, like, 15. Like, it's like, oh, yeah, when you get into, like, your mid-20s, there's not really that many roles for you, because people want sort of, like, teenagers or, like, dads, and there's that funny age, and I guess it's the same.
Listen,
maybe, probably even more, because, like, with
there's
ladies...
no problem about it. For a woman in her 40s, for an actress in her 40s, it's like the death knell. There's like a bell around your neck and swing it. It's like avoid that woman. It's getting better.
I was going to say,
it's getting a lot.
I mean, there's
better.
people like Olivia Colman and people like that.
Well, you name 5 women of that age that are working.
Yeah, you would probably struggle. You're right. Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's really, it's hard. It really is. But it's changing.
Why should like you just said, women of that age? Why do they have to have all this kind of work done and makeup? Why can't they just embrace that age?
Because you look
the way
at
that they look.
Because if you look at the women who are working of that age, they're all extremely beautiful and they're playing like down and out mums, but they're like, it's like, do you know what I mean? It's like you like
with white teeth.
You look at Nicole Kidman, for instance. I mean, she's stunning. And yet she's playing like she did the no, that's a really bad example. Oh no, my brain's not working. But basically, women in their 40s, 50s, for them to work, have to look presentable, and by presentable, I mean really beautiful.
There's very few working class people who are like constant. I mean, Sheridan Smith, she's she's very working class. She's very beautiful, but she kind of like real beautiful in a way. Do you know what I mean?
But again, she's a one-off.
Another one-off. Yeah, and you are right that you put me on the spot there by saying I couldn't think of 5 women who are in constant work, and it's just the way that the society now is changing so much. But I mean, there is women like Sheridan and Olivia Colman who are trying their hardest to change the way things are. And,
absolutely.
It's just a shame, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a shame. But I mean, it's TV, isn't it? They want
people want escapism, don't they? And they want glamour and like you say, I think it has come a long way from, if you think of like, when sort of like film first sort of kind of came about, and you had like your ultra like Audrey Hepburn, people like that, like an absolute image of beauty, and they were put on such a pedestal.
Yeah.
It has changed now where there is a lot more.
Do you think HD's got a lot to do with it?
HD, possibly. That could be true. Yeah, because I know like the jump into kind of HD, like obviously makeup's a little bit more.
Yeah, I think some
prominent now.
TV shows are they're kind of you know, the lighting's not particularly great, but yet they're all kind of, you know, shown on HD, and you know, they don't really complement one another, I don't think.
No, they really
Yeah,
don't.
that's true.
It's a killer, isn't it? Like,
there isn't time to do it because they've got to go to the next one, and people want an early dart and all that stuff, so I think that puts a pressure on actors.
It does,
Yeah,
it does.
definitely,
I remember being on set and this big silver foil board came out and I'd never seen it before. I'm like, what's that for then? And they're like, oh, to reflect the light, because, you know, you just need it. And I'm like, oh, so that's, I'm at that age now, am I? And then the boards are getting bigger and there's more of them. I'm like, all right, can we just chill out with the boards, please? You just, you know,
I'm at the age where they start putting anti-shine on me slapper.
See, I've never given
In fact, they don't need one of them boards, they just stand me underneath.
You was that bored.
You see, I'm saving them money already.
to see hanging about.
I think the thing is, now with HD and stuff like that, I mean, even the camera phones is like, Charlotte, as I was telling you about that, the XR Mega Whopper phone that she's got. Like, tried taking a selfie on it, and I look at it and I'm like, oh my god, like every single spot and every piece of, I know I ain't got much stubble, but you know, it's like everything comes up so clear.
Does it bother you that?
Because not really. I think I'm notoriously ugly on telly, so I'm not bothered about.
No.
I'm not bothered about being pretty, like, you know, like we were saying about Carmen and people like.
yeah.
So I've never been bothered about, like, people always saying about, would you ever get your teeth straightened or braces? And I'm like, I'm not bothered. It doesn't bother me. I am who I am, and I'm happy who I am. It doesn't.
Well, people just stop looking real, don't they?
That's it. I mean, you know, I get, like I was saying before, like in our job, like it's one of the most important things, isn't it? You know, to represent real people. Like you guys, obviously, you know, it's meant to be a real street.
When I first joined, I'll not even specify, but when you've been on TV and you look at what social media have to say about you, it can be absolutely destroying.
Yeah.
Yes.
I've stopped looking because I've stupidly had a little look, and I'm not doing that again. So it's you know, it's for all keeping stuff real. People actually, it's like they don't want it. I don't know, it's funny.
Social media is such a funny thing because people can go from being your best mate to being people who hate you so quickly. Yeah. And it's like, especially when you're doing something, say if you're working on a series that's amazing, and everyone in that moment loves you and they want to be your mate, and it did. But then when you've not done anything for sort of 6 months and a bad photo gets put online or something, and then they're taking the piss out of you, it's like, a couple of weeks ago you was my mate, and it's you can go from being like so buzzed and so hyped off people telling you how amazing you are on social media to people telling you things that aren't so nice. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I just thought I'd poach a dog in the eye.
It's kind of give a voice to the voiceless, isn't it? Social media, and sometimes it's not like they didn't need that voice.
It's a literal can of worms as well.
It is,
but I mean, it's like they've opened that can and the worms have just crawled right out.
And again, like that, you know, that's going back to what we were talking about. You know, like these girls again are like, I suppose, you know, with yourself. You're there and you're in this show, and obviously if you go on social media there'll be a lot of people saying a lot of things, but I reckon nowadays, I don't know, but I'm assuming nowadays, like, every school has probably got that. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you type in coronation or whatever, if you type in, say Meredith's or whatever high school, I bet you they'll be like, oh, did you see such and such today? She looked like that. Or I bet that's scaled down. So you know, in that sense, it's probably, that's not helping this kind of, like you were saying. Like,
I totally agree, because it will be, won't it? I mean, it's social media, it's out there, isn't it?
People have to look the same, because if they don't, they'll go on Twitter and there'll be like a, you know, like in our day, I guess, when we were younger, it was like, you get bullied straight away, or you'd get, you know, someone said...
It stopped at the end of the day, didn't it? Exactly. You went home and you were alright then, you put Grange Hill on or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, where now, like you say, them...
It doesn't end because your phone's there, isn't it? And it's impossible, I guess, as someone, if you've been brought up with, because we were, I mean, you probably were.
When I was sort of in school, there was the internet was there, but it wasn't social media like it was now. It was like MySpace, where
Bebo and
like
MySpace,
music up and stuff. It was a bit more creative. Then.
Well, I was 21
nice.
when I first got a mobile phone, and it was a Nokia.
Oh yeah.
It was like a brick, and you could send a text, and that was it.
Yes,
and make a phone call.
And play Snake. Did you have Snake on it?
Yeah, you could,
We had a notice board down the pub
A what? A notice board down the pub.
Homing pigeons.
This is turning into like, is it the 4 Yorkshire? You had a notice board, lad. Oh, you had a pub.
If you want something, get down to that notice board. That's where you used to meet everybody, under the notice board.
Yeah,
It was very sociable.
Yeah, that's it. Like, nobody's sociable, are they? Anymore with it. Like, we spoke about sort of social media stuff on here before, and obviously we use it for the podcast, and I guess pretty much everyone here uses it.
Yeah.
I know you have Twitter and Facebook and stuff, but like you say, I think we use it differently than the generation who have never not known it.
Well, it's an extension of their arm, isn't it?
Exactly.
And you can't not, because I know you've had this dilemma with your kids of like, what do? You can't not give them a phone because all their friends have got phones.
Yeah.
Huge peer pressure, isn't there?
Yeah.
It's the most unsociable thing, I think.
Yeah.
Having phones and social... Because, like, to be fair to technology and stuff, I know we're sort of veering back onto Kieran's episode, but...
No, it's fine.
We've got... Me and all my mates, who all grew up together, and I think because of the technology and because we've got a group chat on our phone, and there's like 15 or 20 of us, so we all know what's going on, and every single day we're chatting and putting videos in and photos, and I think that way we've bonded a stronger relationship growing into men as we might not have done if these group chats weren't available. Yeah. Because like Johnny was saying, like you go down to the pub, but you can't go down to the pub every single day. Otherwise, you know what I mean?
You've just been known for that before, though, right?
Yeah, but I've grown up a bit now.
but I said to my kids, because they're always kind of bent over looking at their devices. When you grow up, you're going to have bad backs.
Yeah.
And their reply was, yeah, but we'll be very knowledgeable, Dad.
That's it. I mean, there's the pros and cons with that, is because, like you say, like it's instant knowledge, isn't it? Like me and my wife, we'll be watching a film, and it'll be like, oh, who's that? And we know we're from somewhere. 1 minute. Oh,
you have to.
She's
ask
from that.
Yeah.
What does this mean on a
on-demand
letter? Oh, it
culture.
means But I was going to say that. How old are your
9 and 11.
9 and 11. So they're at that age now where it's unavoidable
it's
in a way.
completely unavoidable, but I do sort of have to take
It's
it off.
scary, isn't it? My little... go on, sorry.
No, my little boy, his iPad was broke the other day. I know we're supposed to be talking about makeup, but...
No. The beauty of this, it can go anywhere.
His iPad was broken the other day and he had to get repaired, so he was without it for a few days. And he went downstairs and got this book of paper airplanes out and started making paper airplanes and took them outside and started throwing them around the garden. And it was such a joy to see.
To see him enjoying.
To see him kind of come out of his skin again.
Yeah.
And to see his face, because his face is always down in his iPad, just see them sort of like looking up.
Yeah,
it's running around and just being
like,
kids.
I remember when I was a kid, when we was kids, like, we used to get a football at like, say, starting the weekend with 12 p.m. or 11 a.m. We'd get a football and we'd go on the park and we'd make 2 goals and we would be there till the sun went down.
Yeah.
And then we'd get up and do it all over again and we'd be playing hide and... There was a game called Tracky we used to play, a big game of hide and seek around like an estate. So like you get 10 of you or whatever and you go find each other. But we'd just be out having fun all day and we'd have a phone but it was in our pockets all day. We didn't really use it.
Somebody was saying the other day that some kid came to knock on their door to see if their kid wanted to play out. And
Well,
really
that's
took him
not-
aback. He was like, oh my God, I've not seen that for ages.
Yeah.
What, you want him to play out?
Yeah. But that's the other thing, because everyone's getting, we don't like to play out, you don't know who's out there, it's already...
It's always been the same, hasn't it?
But it has always been the same, we just know about it now because of social media and what have you, but yeah, we used to be as kids, we used to go out. I've got an older brother who's 2 years older than me, and he used to be in this like gang, there's about 5 of them that used to go out and just cause havoc and like knock a door run and all of that kind of stuff.
The harmless fun that we had when we was kids.
Yeah, not to the old one who had a nervous breakdown because we wouldn't leave her alone. But, apart from her, God rest her soul, we killed her. No, we didn't. But I used to be like this honorary member, and I used to think it was dead cool, but I wasn't. What they used to do, they used to use me to test stuff out. For instance, there was this one time I had to jump over this... there was the vets, so we're on the vet's roof, and then there was this like alleyway, and then there was another building, and they didn't know if they could quite jump over it to get the other side. They sent me across.
So you had to do the
So I
first
had to
jump.
do the first jump, yeah, and I got across, but I might not have done.
Yeah.
It was always like that, yeah.
Feels like a guinea pig.
It's great though.
You're saying like that stuff that made you like. I remember doing stuff. I was a bit like that. Like it was always like, we used to have this big sort of it's a railway bridge near my grand's. And we used to go down it on our bikes and whatnot. And then my cousin would always be like, I've got a computer chair. Go on, Andy, go down. Honestly, I'd go down. I remember once...
Well, not shopping trolleys. Is it normally
shopping trolley as well.
Yeah.
I once went down it in a tyre
Okay.
Yeah, got
Down
in a
the railway
tyre
thing.
and went down the. It's just like
Can't help but think about Stand By Me though.
No,
You
it's
wanna
a
see a dead
footbridge
body?
over a railway.
It was our generation that did it with kind of shopping trolleys.
Oh no, definitely.
Computer
I was on the
generation.
shopping trolley one.
Computer chair.
Yeah.
Next will be on iPad
Yeah, yeah.
chairs.
I was going to say that before as well. My little girl turned around to me the other day. She's got an iPad. She's 4. She's got an iPad, and we don't always let her on it, but we let her on it every now and again. And that, like, she's got, like, is it Disney Life or whatever it's called? So she can watch Disney films.
Disney
on it.
Life, is that like...
Yeah. It's like Netflix, but just Disney's stuff.
Oh.
Which is cute. But then she's got the YouTube Kids app, which is like, it's YouTube, but only kids content will go on there and stuff, so it's quite safe.
Yeah.
Still, I'm always watching over just in case anything slipped the net. But the other day we were, she always wants to go on this YouTube app, and then the other day we were in the kitchen and we were, what was it? It was Halloween. We were making, we were cutting out the pumpkin, and she sat there going, "Okay, guys, so now we're gonna little American accent, like
And Phoebe.
yeah,
Oh,
like little American
that's
accent
really
going.
cute.
Now we're gonna scoop out the seeds and all, and I was like, "Who are you talking to, darling?" And she went, "People watching," and I went, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "YouTube," and I went, "Do you are you making a YouTube video?" Like, and she went, "Yeah," and then I was like, "Oh my god," like, because there's kids her age, there's kids younger than her age who's like. It's obviously the parents are kind of helping them out and that, and
There's
and
one
making
called Ryan's.
YouTube
Is it
videos.
Ryan's Toy Reviews or something like that?
I'm not sure. Probably be kids reviewing
Yeah,
toys.
he's like
and
6 and he's worth millions.
Yeah.
He's just reviewing...
Yeah.
He's reviewing kids'
Reviewing
toys
toys,
because kids
yeah.
love it. Like my little girl, like say she'll watch, kids just talking about or kids playing
And
with
opening
dolls
them,
and that.
yeah.
And I said to her, and I was like, "Would you like to do that?" And she was like, "Yeah." And I was like, I was scared. I was really scared. But then I was like, part of me was like, oh, I'm a bit of a hypocrite here, because I remember getting, I think it was called the Game Boy camera when I was a kid. That old thing. It was like a little, almost like a webcam, but for your Game Boy.
Yeah.
And I had this adapter that you could plug it into your Super Nintendo and put it on the telly, and it wouldn't record or anything, but I'd make little videos and I'd be like, "Oh, hi guys, today we're and I was like, wow,
You
the
are
only
the
difference
original
is
YouTuber.
she's actually got access to that now. Like, do I deny it? Do I go, no, absolutely
don't.
not?
I
She
don't
did
do I
have some
feed her
good
creativity?
pumpkin carving tips to me.
Well, yes, I mean, she was great at it. Like, she was,
Do you know what? I remember going back even further, when I was about 10, we had a corner shop. And we used to, well, it was a grocery store really, we used to sell meats and stuff like that as well. And there was like this, what's that, those doors that...
Saloon doors.
Not a saloon door, because they open like cowboys on this.
Barn
It's like
doors.
a flip top.
like a suicide door.
Hatch
is that a
doors.
car?
Yes, it's like it's like
Well off.
George doors.
George doors, yeah, Marjorie doors.
What's the skills, George?
So it's like a worktop, but then it would lift up. So part of the worktop would lift up, so you could get through. To the
I know
shop.
what you mean.
The-
Right,
front-
yeah,
front
yeah,
of
like
the
at the end of the
horse.
bar.
Yeah, yes,
Like a
exactly.
barn
Like
door.
Del Boy when he goes play
yeah.
cool, trigger play cool, and then he falls over. Well, I used to make cheese and crushed sandwiches, but do it to an audience like Delia Smith.
Yeah,
Of course you
yeah,
did.
and I guess
I did.
like that's, I reckon most, I don't know, but I guess the majority of us who grew up wanting to be actors.
I just used to steal
little
cars.
things like that.
And he's not joking.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no,
but
it's
you
true.
didn't decide you wanted to be an actor though, really.
Yeah,
Like when you
steal
were young,
cats.
did you?
No cars.
Cars,
Oh,
yeah,
no,
you steal
you
cars
heard
and
him correctly,
mopeds.
yeah. No,
Half a
it-
tennis ball
Yeah.
on the lock.
Sorry if any of my victims are listening.
It'd be so good they wouldn't know. The difference is, though, I guess, is that, you know, because I remember, like, oh my goodness, if like kids were ever interviewed on kids shows when I was little, like Why Don't You and stuff, they'd be like, all right, no, they was, you know, like stringing like half sentence together at best, and now they're so eloquent, these kids.
Yeah.
That's
Kids-
My little girl, like say my little girl,
It's
through
because they're always typing
watching
things on
like
social
that.
media. They've got that predictive texting.
Oh yeah, exactly.
And I
Gives
suppose
them
the
better words,
writing
I
and
guess.
the sort of reading more things online on Facebook and stuff like that, I suppose they are learning in a way,
Yeah.
and kids are like, even for like actors as well. I've just started watching The Sinner on Netflix, series 2. And there's a young kid in there who plays Julian. He must be 11. And he is incredible. Like some of the lines he's having to learn, and whether he's on social media or not, but like just the way he is and how quickly kids are growing up now is think it's amazing. It is amazing, but it's scary as well.
And we won't know whether it's good or bad until they're in charge of looking after us.
I don't think it's
until they're
good.
ready to make proper decisions.
I don't think it's good. I think we're not interacting, and as humans, you need to interact face to face, and
definitely,
and like build communities and just be able to like.
Well, so you go in the green room at work. It's just full of people staring at their phones, isn't it?
Yeah, that's I don't, like
Used to be about
sometimes
people regaling stories of working with Gilwood.
Yeah.
But then they're just staring at that all the time.
Yeah, it is.
Like, do you find it's more the younger generation?
No, I don't. I think it's everyone now. 'Cause I think you get addicted to your phone. I think we're all addicted to
I
our
am
phone.
physically addicted to my phone.
Yeah, if you haven't got it or you've not had it for I wouldn't say I was particularly attached to my phone, but I do sort of need it there, and that worries me.
Yeah, I kid myself sometimes. Like, I'm like, well, it could be a call off like my agent, or it could be, and I'm like, it's not. Like, I just want to look at Facebook and see what they're from next door's up to.
Like, I suppose if you smoked, it'd be a fag, or if you stop smoking, but what do I do now if I haven't got a cigarette? I've never smoked, so I don't know. But it feels like that. Like if because I like going out on my own. I like going to the cinema on my own. I like eating on my own. I've no problem with that. And I used to take a book. Now I wouldn't take it. I just have my phone. There's something really sad about that.
You used to look forward to coming home and listening to the answer machine, didn't you?
Yeah.
Just
seeing if you had any messages.
Your agent had rung.
Yeah, well, it's like that, isn't it? Because like, there's something I seen the other week, and it was like back in the 90s, you used to get an email and be really excited, but be sick of post coming through your door. Now. You get an email like fuck's sake, but you get a letter through the door like, what's this?
Really?
It's always bills.
You enjoy getting letters? I hate getting letters. I've been in my house for like coming up to 4 years or something. I never have ever had one exciting letter.
Oh, I see.
I've been sending you them for years.
It's just bank statements, or like you say, you get the dreaded brown letter twice a year, don't you, from the tax man?
Yeah, I love that.
Just I don't think I've ever gone to the door and gone, oh, that's
Listen, I know brilliant accountants if you want one.
Accountant?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
I need one actually.
Amazing, this guy, isn't he? Anyway, I'll talk
I've got a
about
friend who's in his 70s and he lives up in the far north of Scotland, and I write him letters.
You still write letters?
Yeah, I write him. Very occasionally I'll sit down and I'll write him a letter.
Yeah.
That's nice, that.
See, that's gorgeous. And, penmanship's kind of all but disappeared, hasn't it? But I used to write loads of letters. I used to be a real letter writer. And
really?
I can't remember the last time I wrote a letter.
I don't like... I think we got... Yeah, this is again thingy. Like, I think we had, like, pen pal in my, like, French lessons at school.
Yeah.
But that's probably...
Do you think kids are going to not be able to write?
Well, they can't write.
I think...
Well, they're getting iPads in school and stuff now, aren't they?
Yeah, and like my friend's a teacher, and she says when dissertations are handed in or essays, she says the spelling and the grammar is absolutely appalling because they're so used to autocorrect. And actually, no, sorry, but that's because obviously they send them by the computer now. But there is autocorrect, and it's still awful. It baffles me as how they can do that. But when they actually have to write something physically, it's like they can't do it.
So kids now, so they're not having to write much at school. Is it all done electronically?
Well,
no, I have to say I don't know whether I agree with that, because I went to parents' evening for my kids the other day, and they done some beautiful stuff in there.
I think it depends what school you're at.
Yeah.
I think
here's a breath of fresh air. My little 5-year-old brother came home from school with a guitar. So they're giving him a guitar, so they're trying to teach the kids in his year.
Nice.
I think he's 5 and maybe he's 6. But yeah, he's got a guitar and they teach. Obviously, he's just punching the strings and swinging it at me.
Setting it on fire.
He's trying.
It's nice thought,
Yeah.
No, that is good, that.
Yeah, it's just, I thought it was something different. I don't ever remember that for me at school.
Yeah, you see, because I had that at my school, and that's the difference, isn't it? It's opportunity and...
Yeah.
And then that makes all the... because I can read music, and that's because I started learning music and playing instruments from school, and if you don't set things in at an early age, it's so much more difficult when you're older.
Yeah, because you don't have the time to do it, I guess. 2, your brain develops differently. You can
learn. I think there's a lot of pressure now on parents as well. Like my stepmom, she's a single mom with a 5 or 6, but she's got to go back to work because she can't physically afford to not be at work. So like she does all her utmost best for Zach to be able to do everything with him, but a lot of the time she's got to be at work, and it's like she can kind of struggle to find the time to sit and play the guitar with him or do things like that. So I think there's added pressure on parents now as well, because it's so expensive to live day to day. People have got to be in work a lot. Do you know what I mean?
You're absolutely right. I couldn't agree more with that.
Yeah.
Certainly to pay for all them eyebrows.
Yeah, they're not expensive.
Getting them redone every 3 months.
So just coming back to,
find the time.
we'll bring it back to kind of makeup for the last kind of 5 minutes. So do you? I mean, like you're saying, so you've been fake tanning since fake tanning was cool.
Oh, I have.
Like you say, you wear a bit of makeup yourself, so it's not like you say, it's not an attack on makeup.
Oh, it's not.
More,
All the
it's
women,
more
all the girls.
overdoing
It's
and following a.
It's
the
I
trend.
think I'm annoyed with the people who set these trends off, and it's
Yeah.
always money led, and it's always playing on girls' insecurities, and I just hate that.
Well, that's it, because you know, a lot of these like celebrities and that who are setting these trends off, like you say, unbeknownst to them girls, like they're getting paid a lot of money to go.
Yeah.
What was it you said before? The
Contour.
Contour, like, yeah, that's a brand.
Yeah.
Obviously, Kim K ain't doing that for free.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
No,
Nothing
she's
that Kim
not.
Kardashian puts on her Twitter will be for free.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Paid for every single tweet.
Yeah, and these waist trainers. Have you heard of these waist trainers?
No.
So to get the Kim Kardashian look, like the big boob, small waist, big butt, these waist trainers basically going back to the 16th century.
Like, so like almost like a corset.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
And you sleep in them, you have them for hours, and they reshape your body and misalign your organs. But let's not worry about that, because that's
don't
not
say that.
important. Because it's all about how you look, and very little to do with. I teach drama. And the young girls, they're amazing, but what I'm finding, these 17, 16-year-olds are trying to take up as little space as possible. They've got little voices.
Little
and
petite.
yeah, and it's like, it breaks my heart, and I just want them to all beat their chests and scream and have a place, you know.
Yeah.
So that's kind of my mission.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, no,
one.
good on you for doing it, because it is like even with boys as well though. Like I think it's like kids are kind of like now. I was having tea with one of my friends last night, and he's got a little brother, and he plays on Fortnite a lot, and he's kind of like he's a bit socially awkward. But I know but when you hear him on his headset with his mates, and he's like, "Oh, I've just shot someone, and I've got this big super armor," and he's tapping around. But then he's sitting at a dinner table. He's kind of like just a bit awkward, and his communication skills are kind of a bit like
non-existent.
Yeah, I mean, when I was when I was sort of 13.
Unfortunately,
You couldn't shut me up. I wanted to be in everyone's faces, knowing what everything was, and whereas now, like, kids are just so ingrained because things are so good. I think as well.
Yeah.
Like Fortnite is for a kid is brilliant. I think
They know what they're doing when they design these games. They make them addictive. They know what they're doing.
Yeah, 100%, and they do the same thing. They reach out now to celebrities and get them involved in. Oh, can you just say you play this, or like you say, like I was saying before, YouTubers. That's a big place
huge,
now
isn't
for
it?
people, makeup tutorials, like say gaming stuff. Like
so it's all gone mad, hasn't it?
Strange new world, isn't it? I guess.
Yeah.
But then I always think to myself, I think, you know, what did my great gran think when my gran was sat watching TV? For 2 hours a night. It was aliens.
What to do with my fucking mascara?
So the chat's quickly gone on to society.
Yeah.
Also,
I guess it's a reflection of it.
It's a reflection of society with a makeup.
Makeup is used primarily nowadays for people to fit into society.
The emphasis is on how we look, as opposed to who we are or what we're capable of doing, or kindness.
I don't think there's a problem with makeup. I just think there's a problem with how it's used.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we're saying. Isn't
Yeah,
it?
like you say, makeup. Like you say, like Sally, you've got makeup on now.
I love makeup.
but
Listen, I love makeup.
It's not like you say you've not got like massive slug eyebrows or anything. It's quite subtle, and it's not, like we were saying, like my wife, she wears very subtle little makeup.
Yeah.
I can
when she goes
cake
out
it on.
and
Don't get me wrong. I like a bright red lipstick and loads of eyeliner and stuff like that, and that's great because I enjoy it. It's fun. It's nice.
And are you using that more of an extroverted way rather than what you say, like these girls?
Yeah, but it is armour as well. It is armour. It's a bit like, you've got your face on.
Does it make you feel different when you wear
Yeah.
it? As someone who's never really wore it, so like, like you
Come
say,
on.
well, I mean, obviously, acting wise.
It's mad. But when it's used properly and it's just you get these young girls who walk around Liverpool mainly, that looks like it's been kicked on.
I know.
Like a lot of it looks like it's been punched onto the face.
Oh,
and
that's
like,
you, not DJing in Liverpool again.
But you know what I mean? It's when it's too much.
It's not a fair reflection. It's not being able to see
who they are.
Your makeup should emphasise what you've got, not be the focal point of your face. Like, oh my god, look at those eyebrows. That shouldn't be how it is.
Yeah.
But it's different for me. I'm in my
Enhance
40s.
your beauty.
Yeah, and I'm not, I'm not a slave to that, and I know what's important. I know who I am. Whereas, these young girls are brought up in this environment where, the pressure is on to be physically perfect, and it's an impossibility. And they're not as strong. They're quite vulnerable, and it just bothers me that, they're hiding behind this false identity, and we should celebrate our unique differences. All we have that stands us out from anybody else is what makes us us, our uniqueness, and that's to be embraced and celebrated.
And I think we'll end it on that
perfect.
beautiful little speech there from Sally.
You.
Thank you very much for chatting with us. Sally and Joe, thank you very much.
Thank you, mate.
And Elsie the dog.
And Elsie the dog, who's been patient with us. Thanks very much.
Great.
Yeah, again, I think we say this every week, but another fucking lovely chat, really.
Yeah, brilliant chat, and
great to have Joe there chipping in every now and again.
I mean, he made my afternoon, really. I mean,
he's a really funny guy, isn't he?
Really, really nice bloke.
Yeah,
really nice bloke. And they got on really well. And I mean, it was lovely of Sally to let us into a lovely home in Manchester, and chat all things sort of. I think we touched basis on Sally growing up and being a guinea pig for her little brothers. It's nice to sort of hear stories about the people who you admire and grow up watching on TV, and I mean that was nice. And I know we sort of went off subject, which is a thing that we have been doing a lot. That's the beauty of podcasts.
The subjects, we're not even gonna lie. The subjects just to get you in. You know what I mean? We just have chats like it's nice.
Yeah, I mean it is nice. But I think Sally made some great points, and the same with Joe. That the society is a bit strange.
It is, yeah, and it was nice to hear Sally sort of commenting on it as a woman, as a lady who's grown up wearing makeup, etc. But then it was also nice to hear Joe commenting on it. With his kids and stuff, and myself,
like
saying
11 and one who's 9.
So it was nice, different angles, and obviously we want to stress, guys, that and Sally does stress it a few times in the chat that there's nothing against these girls doing it. Like, it's not a bad thing if you are a young girl,
if you feel comfortable
and you feel comfortable like that, then all fucking fair play to you, and you do it. And if that's your way of expressing yourself, fair play. It's just simply Sally's commentary and
opinions, and as humans we're allowed our own opinions, and and I suppose that's what makes for good podcasts and good chats, because you sort of it's nice to have a platform with you guys where we're discussing each other's opinions and the way we feel about certain subjects, and when people feel strongly about it. I mean, I spend a lot of time on social media, and I mean, just some of the things that you do see, it does make you think, and that's what makes for great subjects.
Yeah, definitely. And like we touched on in there as well, like in the chat, the thing is that we forget, although we do use social media all our life, is we still do remember a time before it where some of these young kids coming up now don't remember
Facebook.
Like I remember I got Facebook when I was
about 15, 14.
Yeah, so that's like literally I'm 28, so if I got Facebook at say about 16, so that's like 12 years. Like 12-year-old girls are using and boys and are using Facebook and that now and stuff. So
it's mad. I remember finishing school. Sorry, go on, mate.
No. I was going to say they've never known a world without it.
Yeah, and it's like I remember finishing school and I'd maybe spend 20 minutes, half an hour customising my Pixel.
Oh yeah, I remember
my Bebo. So I remember I used to get in from school, and my brother Jamie, he'd have I'd get in from school and I'd go straight out with my mates and play football. Computer wasn't really a thing.
Yeah.
The only reason I used my computer at night, I'd get sort of 8 o'clock till 9:30, and I had like half an hour creating my Pixel and my Bebo. Then always on MSN.
Yeah, MSN was massive back in the day, man.
And all I used the MSN for was sort of just flirting with girls from
and
school.
chatting to mates that you'd spend all day talking to as well, which was mad.
But I suppose that's what they're doing now with group chats and WhatsApps and all that sort of thing.
Yeah, and I think every generation looks at the sort of generation after it in like wonderment, like, oh, why did they do that? How did they do that? Oh, I couldn't do that, me. But like, if you're a part of that generation, it's the norm. Like genuinely, like, I remember my mum, like you were saying there, like with MSN, like MSN Messenger. If you were a kid like us, sort of growing up in the early noughties, the MSN Messenger was like
the thing.
Like,
remember when you used to sign in and out all the time to the girl? So when the girl who you fancied
could like, see her, yeah, and you could do it as well, couldn't you? So it looked like you were hiding it from that, like, so only they could see that and stuff.
Oh, could you do that? Mate, you're always more advanced in technology than me.
Mate, MSN for me, like,
I was just out for bare bitches, mate. That's
no, but like, say, like, my mum and dad like couldn't get MSN. They couldn't get their head round it. They were like, why are you sat in your room talking to people that you spent all day with? Why don't you go out and do this, or why don't you come downstairs and watch telly with us or whatever? And it's like, we're doing the same now with this younger generation. We're going, oh, they're all, you know, they're all doing this online, whatever. And is it just because we just don't understand it, I guess? Like, our parents didn't understand us?
Yeah, I suppose it is. It's just part of growing up, and things are always changing. And and I think it's a very exciting thing that things are always changing.
Yeah. Otherwise, it would have been boring.
Exactly. Things are always changing. And if it wasn't for technology improving, we wouldn't be able to do these podcasts.
We're now sat in your car recording a podcast. Charlotte's car. Sorry, she'll go mad at that.
Yeah.
Recording a little podcast. But yeah, guys, look, we won't rabbit on. That's it for this week. Again, thank you for listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for around the world as well, man. There's people in America, Australia, like I buzz over that tea.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's a brilliant feeling.
It's really nice, and we've got some more exciting stuff coming up. So, as we get into winter and that, we've got some exciting stuff. We've got some new stuff that we're going to try and we're going to throw out at yours, and onwards and upwards, man. And it's fun. Yeah. So keep an eye on the Twitter at Overrated Everyone.
Yeah.
And I think it's the same on Instagram, isn't it? At Overrated Everyone. Keep an eye out, because that's where most of the new kind of news will come from. In the nature that we have to record these because of our schedules means that we can't, be sort of giving you like, oh, then next week we're doing this, because we don't know what we're doing next week yet here now.
Yeah.
But we do on Twitter and that, because we both sit on it on every day.
Yeah. But yeah, episode 8.
No,
thank you.
Now.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Cheers,
man.